studio heads will be holding a joint call today to discuss their next move in the ongoing strike. That's according to Variety and Deadline. The news comes after the WGA and major studios spent a third day this week at the negotiating table. Writers are now in their fourth month on strike. The big issues remain streaming residuals and protections from artificial intelligence. The WGA released a report yesterday that calls for more government regulations of what it calls anti-competitive practices of big studios. According to the report, Disney has reduced film output and shut down competing studios to get rid of independent content from its distribution networks. The report also claimed Amazon used the same tactics, utilizing anti-competitive behavior at its power as a big tech company to underpay writers. The Guild found that Netflix has been using its position as the biggest streaming service to decrease spending on content from independent studios and to raise prices for its subscribers. The full report can be read on the Guild's website.
What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. So yes, now the writers want big daddy government to get involved with their labor problems. That, you know, anytime you get the government involved with any kind of a union, when they're going through some sort of a labor dispute, you know chicanery and bullshit is afoot, all right? It is really pathetic that these writers are coming in here and demanding that the government gets involved. As you can see on this headline by Deadline, a WGA West calls for government regulation of anti-competitive practices of Disney, Amazon, and Netflix. Jesus Christ. And here's what's really funny about this. They say it's for the anti-competitive practices of the studios and the streamers and so on. All right. Anti-competitive. Unions are not looking to compete. All right. Coming from a union, no less. All unions want to do is hold labor hostage. That's it. Okay. Unions just hold labor hostage, and they always represent the weakest employees at the place. That's who they really need. The union never represents the strongest employees because the strong employees don't need a union. All right? They get the job done. They get the raises. They get the bumps and the promotions. All of that. They get all of that regardless of the union. All right? They don't need the union for that work. It's always these weak, needy people, okay? And it's no different here, all right? It's no different here. These are the cats that cannot compete in a wide open workforce, all right? Where you actually have to be good at your job in order to get ahead, in order to get the promotions and the raises and all that. You actually got to be good at your job, all right? The union helps those guys get raises. They help those guys get promotions, all right? And so they promise these weak people, oh, just join us and we'll take care of you. And then they hold labor hostage, all right? They go on strike. They have all the numbers, okay? They're strength in numbers, fellas. And they use those numbers to gang up on the employer. And then what ends up happening? What ends up happening is the talent, okay? The real talent. The people that's actually putting it down, keeping the company afloat, all right? The people that actually belong there, they end up getting screwed. They end up getting jobs, and they end up having to sit around like, damn, why are we on strike, man? I was doing just fine, all right? Check this article out from Variety. TV staff minimum remains key sticking point, but some in WGA privately grumble nobody asked for this. All right? Nobody is asking for this. We're going to jump straight to the quote. Nobody asked for this, said one prominent showrunner. Every showrunner I know is against this. It doesn't make sense to anybody. Another writer added, all the showrunners that want a staff should be given a staff. I don't think it's important to force those few that don't want a staff to have a staff. See, here's where it is at. Look at this. The WGA proposed in the spring that TV shows should hire a minimum of 6 to 12 writers, depending on the number of episodes per season. At its meeting on Tuesday, it agreed to reduce that ask by one writer, but would not forego the basic structure. See, what the union is trying to do, this is all about TV, by the way, okay? Doesn't really have anything to do with feature films, because TV is where you need this writer's room kind of environment, all right? But you got 6 to 12 people, all right, getting full salaries, right? That's what they want. Full salaries, full benefits. This is what the union is asking for. Like, what do you need 12 writers for, all right? You don't need 12 writers on a show. But see, here's what it is. It's on-the-job training for these scrub writers, all right? These brand new writers, they've never had any experience, and that's the way the union is looking at it. Oh, these young, inexperienced writers will get some much needed experience sitting side by side with all of these veteran writers, okay? These veteran showrunners and writers, they'll take these guys through the rigors, they'll show them how it's done. Okay, I honestly get that, I understand that, but that used to be what we called unpaid interns, all right? You don't got experience, you need experience, all right, cool, come on in, all right? You know, John will take you under his wing. He'll walk you through it. He'll show you how it's done over here, you know, in Hollywood, all right? But no, we ain't giving you no salary for that, okay? You can go park cars and wait tables for your lunch money, all right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it used to be done. You used to have to pay dues, okay? Yeah, man, it's going to be a tough grind. You know, you really want to be here. And that's how you separate the wheat from the chaff, all right? Because the cats that don't want to really be there, like, ah, man, I'm tired of doing this job. And I ain't really getting nowhere, man, I'm out, okay? And the people that's really about that life, they'll stick through it, okay? And that's how you get good writers, okay? That's how you get good talent, because they'll stick through the internship and follow it all the way through. And next thing you know, they're showrunners because they've gone through the crucible, all right? But these cats, nah, you got to pay me a full salary, okay? I want all the benefits so I can sit here and look over John's shoulder while he actually writes the damn show. It's like ridiculous, man. And then, oh yeah, I'll do some light editing, you know, fix the punctuations and all of that crap, all right? Make copies, go get coffee, dumb shit. Like, no, get these hours, man, I'm telling you, man. And I know these damn veteran writers, they're pissed. Several showrunners told Variety they did not want to be forced to hire writers who are not needed. In its worst form, they say that would amount to feather bedding. Yes, an illegal labor practice in which employers are required by union rules to hire writers who do no work. It's creating make-work jobs. Boom! It's exactly what it's doing. You're just making up shit, okay? Again, unpaid interns, that's what they used to be. This union only exists to prop up these woke bad writers, right? That's it. The good writers in Hollywood, they only make up like 5% of all writers anyway, all right? These cats should be able to just go and leave and join a different union, all right? Get independent. Why do they even have to join a union? Think about this. That's the anti-competitiveness, because these cats are forced to join this union so they can work in Hollywood. And they want to talk about some anti-competitive. That's what's so funny about this whole idea of anti-competitive practices, okay? Which a union is 1,000%. But yeah, let's go ahead and read through this. In a shot across the bow of giant media companies that it's negotiating with to end the 108-day-old strike, the WGA West released a report today that calls for more government regulation of what it calls anti-competitive practices of Disney, Amazon, and Netflix, which it accuses of abusing their dominance to further disadvantage competitors, raise prices for consumers, and push down wages for the creative workforce. The executive summary of the report, called "The New Gatekeepers: How Disney, Amazon, and Netflix Will Take Over Media," contends that without intervention, these conglomerates will seize control of the media landscape, and the streaming era's advances for creativity and choice will be lost. These new gatekeepers have amassed market power through mergers and other anti-competitive practices, offering an alarming window into the future of media. Yeah, it says you can see the full report here. Let's just kind of go over the highlights of their specific complaints for these particular studios. The first one, Disney, has grown through a series of multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, using its power to reduce film output, shut down competing studios, foreclose independent content from its distribution networks, expand control of the labor market, and force creators to give up financial participation in future licensing revenue. All right, so that's Disney. Amazon has gained a sizable footprint in media in a short time by utilizing the well-documented playbook critical to its ascendance as a tech company. Through anti-competitive behavior and vertical integration, Amazon has harmed competitors, privileged its related business, and abused employer leverage to underpay writers. You know what's really funny about that one right there? The crazy thing is that all of these studio moves that they're talking about, it created jobs for writers. It actually created more content, because all of these companies, they all rushed out to buy IPs that they can turn into television shows and movies and all of that. So you need writers for that, right? But they wouldn't have took those risks if they weren't these gigantic corporations like Amazon. They're talking about, oh, you know, Amazon is harming competitors with, you know, vertical integration. Well, the only reason that they could do this is because of vertical integration, okay? If these were all smaller independent companies, a lot of them would be like, I ain't really taking these risks, okay? But because Amazon is just stacking one thing on top of the other and they're just blending it all together, they figure, you know, we'll make some money out of this some way or another, all right? Let's go ahead and get, you know, Invincible or whatever. And let's give it a shot and let's see if that turns into something. You know, that's basically, so like this idea that these studios have jobbed them, there's more content than ever, all right? So this whole thing is just full of shit. Like I said, all it is government. They want the government involved because when the government regulates things, it always works out for the little guy, at least in their brains, all right? It always works out for the little guy, but it really doesn't, all right? To be very honest with you, I hope they get what they want, all right? I hope we get a very heavily regulated Hollywood, because a lot of these fools will be out of jobs. Netflix was once an innovative competitor, but now it's using its position as the largest streaming service in the world to abuse its leverage as an employer, decrease innovative content spending, and raise prices for consumers. The company has cut out independent producers and severely underpaid writers in multiple areas, and a series of recent acquisitions signal its intent to further increase dominance and market power in order to reduce innovative content investment. Streaming video is now the dominant distribution platform for content, the report says, but it is largely unregulated, taking the problems of vertical integration and media consolidation to the extreme. Streaming's dominant employers have used their leverage to erode the sustainability of writing work. No, they haven't, man. No, they haven't. You guys just don't want to compete. They don't want to go out there and actually write, okay? They want to sit in these stupid giant writers' rooms, okay, getting coffee and running errands and all of that bullshit while they get paid a salary. That's what they want. Further consolidation could result in fewer writers able to earn a living and diminished variety in the marketplace of ideas. No, not at all. Again, calling for more regulation, the Guild says that it is crucial that antitrust agencies and lawmakers take the following actions to protect the future of media: block further consolidation, proactively investigate anti-competitive issues and outcomes, and increase regulation and oversight in streaming. Yeah. So again, just more government. That's what they want. All right. And to me, I want them. I hope they get what they want, because for me, this just is going to lead to more decentralized entertainment, because the good talent, they're not going to want to fuck with this. Okay. They're going to bail on these guys. They're going to be like, hey man, I'm out of here, man. I ain't messing with Hollywood no more. All right. Too many regulations. I got to have these gigantic writing rooms. Screw that. Okay. I'm going independent. And with the way distribution is right now, it's easier more than ever to get whatever it is that you made out there in front of the marketplace. It's so easy to do it right now. All right. It's crazy because look, I was talking when I was at Anime Matsuri. I'm going to finish on this. I was at Anime Matsuri. I was talking to one of the big YouTubers at the YouTube panel. I'm not going to say who it is, but he said basically he believes that Hollywood is going to not go completely under. It's going to be like a 50-50 split between Hollywood and decentralized entertainment. And then you're going to start seeing some good competition. This is going to decentralize entertainment even faster, okay? The talent is going to get the hell out, and they're going to run to the indies, all right? They're going to run to the indies. They're not going to screw around with Hollywood anymore because they're doing way too much right now. But you guys know what I love to do with a Deadline article. Let's go ahead and get to the Deadline comments. Well, 165. Yeah, let's look at this guy, The Economist. I begin to wonder if the WGA employs a labor lawyer. If so, that lawyer should be replaced immediately. The WGA demand for minimum staffing runs afoul of federal labor law. One might assume that was brought to the WGA's attention during negotiations, hence this laughable complaint. Yeah, I mean, we just saw that right there, okay? It's some weird stuff going on. This minimum staffing, all right, 12 people in a writer's room when you probably only need 4, all right? That doesn't sound like it's a smart negotiating tactic, and I'm not sure if it's even legal. Look at this one, Fed Up. The real damage from this ill-advised strike hasn't even been felt yet. In a few years, once production fully recovers, we'll see the true scope of job losses as studios double down on automated writing and staff reductions. They got to get that AI under control. And if they don't, that AI is going to be the writer's room, okay? You're going to have a showrunner, you're going to have like a head writer, and then you're going to have AI, all right? It's going to be 2 human beings and a computer writing all of these shows. I guarantee it. It's shameful how lower level writers have hijacked the narrative. I just said this, okay? It's the chumps, it's the scrubs that are running things right now to protect their own short-term interests at the expense of others, demanding unrealistic quota for marginalized higher positions they aren't necessarily qualified for will backfire severely. Absolutely. Meanwhile, leadership stokes these factional fires for their own benefit, seemingly indifferent to the deep divisions now fracturing the WGA. This strike has pitted members against each other in ways that may not be repairable even after the contract is signed. Distrust in the leadership is at an all-time high, but instead of course correcting, they recklessly plunge ahead with no end-game strategy. It is hard to see how the WGA survives in any relevant form once members wake up to how badly they've been misled. Oh, but see, you don't understand. These guys, the members that you're talking about, okay? These members, these are the scrub writers, okay? These are the guys that wouldn't have a job if it weren't for the WGA and the union, okay? These cats have no ability to do this on their own. They're the weak members. They're the weak links, okay? And they're the ones that, but there's a ton of them. The sad truth is this mismanaged strike has been an unmitigated disaster for working writers on every front. Leadership should be held accountable for the long-term damage inflicted on careers and the community through their power-hungry incompetence. Well, I think that the writers union, the WGA is at fault. I think the people they represent, these scrub writers, they're at fault, all right? And like we just saw, the real writers, they just want to write. They just want to get to work, all right? They're creative. They have some ideas they want to put out there, all right? It's not these jumps that were doing Willow. Those idiots, they are the ones that the WGA represents, okay? They represent all of those. That's the 95% of, Hollywood writers are trash, and those guys are represented by the WGA. Everybody else, they can get it done without the WGA because they're talented. This is great news. For a moment, it appeared there was a movement toward a deal. So naturally, at this critical moment, WGA is well advised to shit the bed by lobbing another noxious fireball. Keep it as hostile as possible, folks. Everyone is trike enjoying the unpaid vacation. Once the kiddos are back in school, we can really dig in on some Judge Judy reruns while secretly polishing up a few pages, man. Whew. Yeah, the writers are not happy about this one at all, okay? The good writers. Look, this guy's at the breaking point, man. Every day that passes, we sink further into the abyss, and that's no joke. Took a gig at a marketing firm. Sleeping better knowing that I can cover essentials and provide for my wife and kids. Good for this guy. Good for him, okay? Because, listen, this is probably a good writer, too. He's probably one of the 5% of good writers in Hollywood. And he just had, hey, man, I just got to do what I got to do. And see, these cats, they'll land on their feet. I told you. They'll be just fine. They'll make their money. They'll find a way, all right? And when the writing comes back, they'll just go right back to the writing. Yeah, like this guy says, good for you. Everybody has to do what they got to do. Exactly. All right? Anti-competitive. There's dozens of studios and companies that writers and actors can work for. There's only one conglomerate, WGA and SAG, that controls the writers and actors respectively. I just said this. I literally just said this. The entity that is anti-competitive is the damn union. Exactly. These are the damn These are the anti-competitive people. Okay? Damn, man. I literally just said this. Only one conglomerate. It's only the union. Why can't these writers? I would get the hell out of these unions. There's no way in the world I would sit here if I'm a good writer. And I'm like, look, I got to be able to be free from this. Okay. I got stuff that I want to write. There's no way in the world I can sit up under a union and then just say, oh, I can't write right now. I can't do what I love. Man, there's no way in the world. This guy literally, whoever this is, okay, I guarantee you it's another writer. All right. This is literally what I just said, that the unions, because that's what unions are. Unions by nature are anti-competitive. They don't want to compete. They just want to hold labor hostage. That's it. That's what they want to do. All right? Prop up all the sorry, weak writers or weak workers in the union. They just want to prop those guys up, the lazy people that really don't want to work. And yeah, and ultimately, they always do the same thing. They run to the government, okay? They run to big daddy government. Absolutely ridiculous. This guy talking about oligarchs and shit. Look, man, I can tell you right now, man. I can tell you right now. These are the woke people, okay, crying, oh, boo-hoo for the poor oligarchs who were beaten by better oligarchs. At the end of the day, look, class action against the WGA. Listen, I'm telling you right now, man. This thing, if the government steps in and regulates, I am going to love it, okay? Because that's just going to open up the door for so many writers, so many different people to just, hey, man, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go out there, decentralize Hollywood all the way around. We'll get much better entertainment. Trust me. Anyway, folks, I've been talking way too long on this. You guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.